Tell me your first experience, the first time you ever saw deliverance or the first time you ever participated in it.
So probably one of the, I can't, not that there's been so many, there's been a lot, but one of them back in 2012, I'll never forget this. We were having a church leadership meeting, and we got a call from a lady whose son was having some issues, and we told her to bring him. She said, well, y'all are having a meeting. I said, look, the spiritual business of the church precedes the business side, you know. Mm-hmm. And so she did. Young man was 32, 33 years old. He looked like walking death whenever he walked in. Meth addict. And he looked at me and he said, just so you know, if I wasn't afraid of death, I would have committed suicide yesterday. And I said, I love people that speak truth. And he said, just also so you know, other preachers have talked to me in the past. I really think you're wasting your time. And I said, well, apparently I've got time, and apparently you got time to waste because you don't even want to be alive. And he said, fair enough. So I sat down, talked with him a few minutes, and I told him this statement. I'll never forget it. I said, if you'll forgive everybody that's ever offended you, God will set you free. And he said, you think so? And I just said, I repeated it. I said, if you will forgive every person that's ever offended you, God will set you free. And he said, fair enough. So I pulled up a chair right in front of him, grabbed his hands, and I just thought he would say, you know, I forgive everybody. No, he started saying, I forgive, and it was probably close to 30 names. Because
wow.
Here's the reality. Every wound that you have has a name to it, and that's the reason that you remember it. You have a mark in your body, you know. So, so he finally got, probably close to 30. I don't remember. And finally, he looked at me. He said, "I'm finished." I said, "No, you're not." He goes, I said, "There's two more." He goes, "There is." I said, "Yes." I said, "Number one." I said, "Yourself." And he said, "Fair enough." He dropped his head and said, "I forgive myself." And I said, "You need to forgive for blaming God. You don't. God has never done you wrong, but everybody blames God." And boy, he just looked at me and. Lisa, when he said these words out of his mouth, I'll never forget it. He said, "God, I forgive you." And when he did, his whole body shuddered. It just shuddered. It was wild. And then I said, "Now invite Jesus to come in and fill your heart." And he did. And he stood up, and my pastor at the time went to lay hands on him and barely, I don't think he even touched him. And this guy got knocked about, kind of like when I got baptized in the Holy Ghost, about 20 feet down the middle of the aisle. He hits the floor laughing hysterically. And out of his mouth, he said, "I've had every kind of drug in the world, but I've never had anything like this." And he got totally set free, set on fire, became an evangelist. It's just, but that's probably the first, very powerful one that I remember. But just through unforgiveness, he got set free.
Wow.
So,
any believer that has unforgiveness, you are a candidate for bondage.
Absolutely. It's the door.
Jesus is clear about what unforgiveness will do for you. So you could be free today just by choosing to forgive.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
I do have a heart. Sometimes there's people will tell me I can forgive everybody but myself. And one of the tips that I always use or try to use is two of them. One is a lot of times people hold things against themselves when they were children. Is find a child that same age as you and say, if they did that, do you think they deserve to be forgiven?
That's good.
And typically they're like, yes. Or if it's an adult, I will say, let's just ask the Lord to show you how he sees you. And often when you see your identity through his eyes, you can give the forgiveness. And then sometimes people can't forgive, and I'm just like, okay, are you at least willing to be willing to forgive? And then just that act of faith saying, okay, God, I can't seem to do it, but I want to be able to. He will fill that and help them do it.
Yeah. So I do two things. One is if you don't forgive yourself and God has forgiven you, then you put yourself in a higher place in him, and that humbles them because it's like, oh my.
It's true.
But the other one, in the two great commandments, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. If you can't forgive and love yourself, you can never have peace with your neighbor. Because, you don't have peace here with the one in the mirror. And so that's a lot of people, whenever they see that, then it helps them. And I tell them, it's a choice of the free will. It's never about a feeling. It never is.
That's true.
It's just a choice.
I have seen people not be healed because they refuse to forgive.
I have too.
Come on, let's forgive people.
Then I always ask them this: have you ever been done wrong? And they'll raise their hand. I said, have you ever done somebody wrong yourself? And everybody has. We've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So, just as he can forgive us, we choose with our free will to forgive others.